Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Hopefully you got outside, did some work, or did something outside. Um, it was awesome. You know me. I love being outside. I worked outside some in our patio, just kind of cleaning up, putting some things down. Just kind of busy work and enjoyed spending time outside. Hopefully you had a good weekend. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Hopefully the week goes well. It's supposed to be rainy for the first 3 days or so, but then by the end of the week, it's supposed to be nicer. Okay. Did you watch a video of the week? It now doesn't count as my half part as towards your half an hour. Okay, but if you did, it's pretty scary. Like, would you do something like that? At first you're like, this is really stupid, but if you keep watching, the guy's crazy. Would you do that, or how much money would they have to pay you to do that? I don't like to think that I'm scared of heights, but I don't know if I could do it. I want to go skydiving, but doing what he did, I don't know if I could. But anyway, if you didn't watch it, now you're like, what on earth is he talking about? So after we're done, you can watch it, okay? Cool. All right, well, let's get started. We're doing 923. 923 is going to be a 2-day lesson, so we're going to start it today and finish it tomorrow. You guys, to be honest, should have a pretty good start to this because of our math minutes. So hopefully a lot of the things we're doing today are going to be review, and hopefully they're going to be kind of practice problems, okay? If you do get stuck, though, let me know. Now, before we start today's lesson, I do want to kind of point out the quiz on Friday. We are going to have quizzes every Friday. Okay, and some of you did really well. I'm not always going to allow open notes, okay? So you got to take notes preparing in case you can, but sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, okay? The quizzes, some of you did very well, some of you did not, and I just want to give you a heads up that I'm going to email every student and their parent for any student who did not do well on the quiz every single week, because we're going to take it every single week. And some of you were very honest with your parents, and you told your parents, hey, I didn't do too well, here's what happened. You talked about it. Some of you are like, they don't know a thing. Well, they do now. Okay, so if you don't do well on the quiz, you're going to get an email over the weekend. So I just emailed a little bit ago all the parents. I don't want to see that again. Again, if you did a really good job, if you did well on the quiz, good job. You get to use the notes, all that stuff. Not always. If you are getting stuck, the best advice I can give you is watch the video again. Okay, you can pause, you can rewind, you can do all that stuff now. Whether you couldn't do in class, you're like, I wish I could have muted you in class. No, I know I can't. But you can do all that. So watch the video again. If not, if you're still confused, call a friend. Pretend like we're in class. Hey, I was watching the video and this doesn't make sense to you. It didn't make sense to you. Can you explain it to me? Okay, so help each other out, guys. Go to Khan Academy, watch a video there. Go to Google, type it in there, or email me directly. Tell me, Mr. Ramirez, I'm really struggling with this. But be specific. Don't just like, I didn't get today's lesson. That doesn't help me. So be specific with what you're struggling with. I don't understand, whatever, okay? And tell me, and I'll try to help you out. But it's kind of hard because it's just hard for me to communicate with you. So please do your best to try to get those other avenues first, okay? All right, let's start with today's lesson. Oh, by the way, your homework, again, is 88, 90, and 91, or you can do the worksheet. You'll have a worksheet that you could print out if you want to or bring up. Otherwise, you can just do it from the book, okay? Understanding square root. Okay, you have developed a way to decide if a triangle is a right triangle by looking, excuse me, at the squares of the side lengths of the triangle. If you already know that a triangle is a right triangle, how can the Pythagorean theorem help you determine the length of a leg or hypotenuse? Today, you and your team will develop new ways to find missing side lengths. Now, Pythagorean theorem, we haven't really talked much about that, so we're going to come back to that, okay? All right, so let's start it. Okay, Nikita wants to use the area of the squares in the figure at right to find the length of the side lengths of the triangle. Now, this should look very familiar. This is what we did last week, and it looks something like that. And we knew that if, well, hold on, I can't tell you that first. So please try answering question A. Did you get it? Well, if you remember right, if we have a right triangle, and if you looked at your notes or if you remembered from the quiz, we know that on a right triangle, the area of the two smaller sides, the area of the squares of the two smaller sides added up has to be equal two smaller sides, not that one. Two smaller sides has to be equal to the area of the larger side. So if this is 16, what do I add to 16 to get 20? The area is 4 units squared. Okay? Now, what are the lengths of the legs? Now, again, the legs are the two shortest sides of any right triangle. Okay, the two legs are these sides here. What are the length of the legs? Well, I know if the area of this is 4, and the area of this is 4, what would the sides be then? The side should be 2 units. How about for the other one? The area of this square is 16, so the side lengths must be 4. And 4 units. How do you know? Well, because it's a square, and to get the area of a square, I square the two sides. 4 times 4 is 16. 2 times 2 is 4. Cool. Well, what about? Oh, it's getting a little blurry here. So let me see if I can clear this out so you can see it a little better. Last question. How long is the hypotenuse? Now, the hypotenuse is the longest side on a right triangle. So it's that side. How long is that side? Okay. Well, what would it be? Are you able to find the length exactly? Explain your reasoning. What would it be? What times itself? Now, it's not 5. It is not 5 and that's what a lot of people say. Oh, 5 times 4 is 20. No, we're looking for what number times itself gives me 20. The correct answer is, I don't know. I don't know the exact answer there without doing some work. And that's what we're going to focus on today. How can I find the exact length of that side? Okay, so let's sidetrack here. Okay, here we go. The numbers 36, 4, 64, 4, 16, 100, 144, 121, and 225 are all examples of perfect squares. If each of these numbers represents the number of square units in a square, what is the side length of each of these squares? So if the area is 36, how big would the sides be? 6. How about if the area is 64? Side lengths would be, how well do you know these? If area is 64, the side lengths would be 8. How about 4? 2. 16. 4. 100. 10. 140. Do you know 144? 144 would be 12. 12 times 12 is 144. How about 121? That'd be 11. How about 225? Anyone know 225? You can use a calculator. Try it out. What would 225 be? 225 would be 15. Why do you think these numbers here, are called perfect squares? Well, they're called perfect squares because all of them represent the area of a square where the sides are the same. 6 times 6 is 36. 8 times 8 is 64. 2 times 2 is 4. So these numbers here are square numbers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you need to memorize them. 1, 4, 9. Can you say them with me? 1, 4, 2 times 2. 9, 3 times 3. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 squared is 25. 6 is squared is 36. 7, 49. 8, 64. 9, 81. 10, 100. 11, 121. We had it right there. 12, 144. Now, a lot of people stop at like 10. I really kind of want you to know 12. You don't have to go farther. 13, 14, 15. If you want to, you can. But you need to know those, okay? All right. You might want to write them down too. Okay, it wouldn't be a bad idea to write them down. All right, we're almost done, guys. So one more problem. To find the side length of a square with a particular area, hold on just a second. This is really busy, so let me do this. Boom. There you go. That helps a little bit. Okay. To find the side length of a square with a particular area, you can use an operation called the square root. The square root symbol looks like this. Okay, and there's the symbol right there. It is also called a radical sign. So if you could please, on your paper, go ahead and write something like, hey, the square root of 81. And this, go ahead and label it as the radical sign. Write it down on your paper. You're going to need to know that, so address it. You're going to know it in high school, so write it down. And the square root of 81 is 9, because 9 times 9 is 81, as you see there. Okay? To find the side length of a square with an area of 81 square units, for example, you would write the square root of 81, and you would read as the square root of 81, since 9 times 9 is 81, then the square root of 81 is 9. Now, if you notice here, we do put an equal sign in the number to the outside. This is not division, so you don't write the number above it, okay? It's just you put equal and the number to the end, all right? So what I'd like you to do is now please write problem 982 on your paper, and go ahead and solve these 4 problems for me, okay? Copy each square root expression below. Rewrite each square root as an equivalent expression without the radical sign. Explain how your method for finding the square roots of these numbers. So, go for it. Pause the video, write all 4 of these down, and then tell me the answers. Cool? We'll check in 1 minute. It should take you 1 minute. Okay, well, it wasn't 1 minute, but hopefully you paused it and got it. And again, those of you who are writing these down are getting the most out. You get what you put into it, guys. If you are just watching, you're going to miss out on some of these things. Square root of 49 is 7. Square root of 121, do you remember? 11. Square root of 9, 3. And the square root of 169 is 13. Cool. Did you know that last one? 169 is 13. Cool thing is, 14, square root of 14, or square root of the next number would be 196. So you just flip these numbers around. So 169 goes to 196, okay? And the square root of 196 is 14. Wow. All right. Well, guys, that's it for today. Okay, pretty short video. Your task is either print out the worksheet or do the problems from the paper, or print out the worksheet or do it whatever, or do it from the book. It was problems 88, 90, and 91. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.